one, go.
Hi,
Good morning.
and we have a special guest with us this morning. Tony's Pistachio is with us.
You could see it, right, Coach?
Yeah,
One, go.
I can't. Yeah, where's Tony? No, I can't see Tony.
Tony's taking a nap right now.
Okay, so Tony's. Mike, seriously, we had a pretty intense 2-day sell-off in the indices. Was it being backed up by option sweeps where people were, aggressively buying puts with some time value? They're willing to pay time because they think it's going to last more than a day.
You know what? The only ones I really saw, Coach, were them backing up as you could go back and watch our video. This being Thursday, I believe it was yesterday. The most amount of data that I did post was the option data. The answer to that is no. They're all they really do is backing up maybe winners like a GOLD, or they're going into maybe some banks into June, but nobody's backing. I believe there was which call they were backing one of them up into Google and Microsoft back, going out till June, but I haven't seen anybody lay anything down in any ETFs. No, it's still,
Okay.
the answer is no.
Okay. And then here we are higher. So, maybe it's possible that was just a little break to buy. And it tells me that, people aren't real bearish. They weren't, going for the move. They weren't believing in it by voting with their wallets and going out and buying, say, like, let's say semiconductor puts, 220s, or NVIDIA puts, or Microsoft. What a gap. I'll tell you something. The way it closed that day.
I know
Show
that.
the chart.
I had it short. I had a nice market,
treacherous.
and I said to myself, right here. I was
Yeah.
saying, well, maybe it's pumped up, if you will, by the artificial intelligence craze, which the other AI stocks, as you know, have corrected or
Yeah.
come down. And this one, Microsoft and NVIDIA. Well, NVIDIA actually now is the time to place the real short for NVIDIA. With that volume yesterday, they couldn't see the volume yesterday in NVIDIA. That's a lot of volume.
Yeah, and you
I
know what? That's a top, bro.
I know
Yeah.
we're approaching. True. I know we're approaching the end of the month, and there's the end of the month window dressing, or I would like to say rotation, as I'll go back into my screen here. This is where the real shit. Yesterday's volume, and when it breaks yesterday's low with volume like that, I mean, that's, I don't, like I say, I don't care if they make widgets on the chart. That to me is a little bit more
I
distribution.
think it could trade to the 200 handle, Mike. You think that's unreasonable over the course of the next several months?
Well, it depends on why it's come down. If I think what's going to happen,
That's a nice weekly chart. Is
where
that
I
a
would
weekly
go,
or monthly?
where I would say it was like I would say 210. I mean, I wouldn't get greedy at that point if there were $50 in it, but this is the scenario right now, and it's stale, at least JP Morgan, it's stale at least for a couple of days. It's almost like I want something else to happen, and that it's arguable that Meta has a huge weighting in the S&P. Google had earnings, which, by the way, I know it's breaking out of its little post-earnings bull flag, if you will, but still, that's
Doesn't look bad.
Amazon's holding up nicely. It's
They all
finally
look good. Apple looks good. Apple looks like it wants a new high.
Yeah, and
see, it hasn't formed. Put that Apple chart back up there for a second so I could teach people. Okay, now switch between this and the video. And back to Apple.
I used to type.
Okay, you're good, man. So what we have in Apple's, we have 2 drives, okay? Just like NVIDIA had 2 drives before that day I was on with you and said that's a 3 driver. So new highs maybe towards 170, and that's a fade. Now go back to NVIDIA and you'll see it looks like it's just a little behind in the evolution of it, but Nvidia did the same thing. You had
No, this is
one,
where
you had two.
this is where Apple is now, right
Yeah,
here.
well, it didn't do it yet. It needs one more thrust, and that'll complete it.
I got you.
You see?
Yes.
So, that's what I'm looking for. Maybe next week I'll add on.
You're looking
Next
for
week we have
Apple
the
to be here.
Fed.
You're
We
looking
have the
for Apple to be here.
And Apple's got earnings and the Fed next week. So I'm sure everyone's going to be expecting. Why should they not expect good earnings from Apple with how the other FANGs and MAGAs are reporting?
Well, I appreciate that. I'm just saying that on a micro level.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Meta were up fractionally.
Right.
Now they're up huge, and stocks like D-Dog that was up $12.
They didn't take a hit. I mean, look at CAT. CAT is still making new 52-week lows. We talked about CAT, I don't know, $1 zillion ago.
It was, Coach. It really was. It really was. And I'll get to the point of our YouTube channel. You know what really started off the short parade was your deer for your call.
Yeah.
And because that was before that, you know what?
That still looks bad.
That deer pulled back before Caterpillar did. Caterpiller was at a really
Cat
high
had
as
one
of
more
February.
high. You're right. It had one more high.
So and you know what? The rest of them are your United Rentals. You see them all over the place. They rent building equipment. That's under pressure today. Home Depot. I mean,
hanging on by a thread.
It is hanging on by a thread. The banks really aren't doing so. There's rotation. There were phenomenal day trades with Roku, phenomenal trading. But like again, Bitcoin yesterday had a huge sell off.
Oh, and the rally. I mean, the intraday stuff in Bitcoin. Now I understand the attraction. You know what it's become, Mike? It's like you go into the casino. It's a big money table now.
Well, I hate to think that. You know what?
It is. It's a big money table.
I don't want to. I'd like to think that we have some sort of profession here. But
we do. You got to know when to hold them.
Yes, that is.
All right, Kenny Rogers. All right.
I just, you know what? It's flying on the TradeView boards that Jerry Springer hit the bid.
Jerry Springer. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That must have shook you. He's probably, what is he, younger than you or something?
I don't know. I don't know, but his show
like he acted like you're his relative or something.
You had to be tough to host a show like that.
Yeah, you do.
The guest we're going to have on later, Edwin Dorsey. He was early on in writing about Silicon Valley Bank. I think he's also written about Rivian. That's
he sold it.
Okay.
Watch.
He's bearish. So I just was going to let you know.
I was in it.
I know you were. That's why I brought it up. So anyway, he goes through, he looks for companies that are, misrepresenting, not filing. He has a place called the Bear Cave.
Is that so? Okay.
Yeah. So it should be an interesting interview. And he was on top of SVB. That's when I just saw his tweet on Twitter and invited him when I saw that tweet. So it should be a great interview. In fact, I read some of the testimonials, and it's almost like subscribers feel that he has their back because, if they're in the wrong stuff, and who has the time to do all this research to find all the red herrings in people's books?
I don't even think they made red herrings anymore. Yeah.
So, anyway, a guy who's trying to protect the public from being scammed. I appreciate it.
It's like a Robin Hood.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So what are you seeing today, Mike? We have the Fed next week. Anything catching your eye?
Coach, it's individual stocks yet still. Listen, as I said, there are more bearish indicators than there have been in some time.
Okay.
Meaning everybody's in the pool, as exemplified by these moving the mega cap stocks. I don't, like I said, there's a lot of going back here.
A lot of conflicting things in the market. But I feel like the I don't know. I know I had Henrik on. He's looking for a melt up, but just the way the market feels to me, it's like, they're chipping away at the foundation by having less and less stocks participate. And it's so concentrated now that it just feels like it doesn't feel like I even have to worry about a sharp bear market rally. 4,200 was the area. I would trail it down now. Remember, 42 was how you would manage risk if you were short a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'd bring it down to like 41.25 stop close only, just in case, they trade there on this bounce. But I don't think I'd risk it to 42 anymore. If this rally's going to end, it's going to end probably by next Wednesday around the Fed. Is just my guess. This
VIX.
bounce, yeah.
Yeah,
VIX
this is, I also
yeah.
have something to add to that, in that, there is, you could see the volatility. For example,
What volatility?
I'll show you the lack, hold on a second. I had a point to that. I knew you were going to say that. And that was correct. For example, you have a stock like MBLY today that just goes from $30 to $34 in 4 minutes. It's the zero DT options. There's too many outs to create some sort of lopsided movement for too long.
Okay. So
You know
you're
what I
saying
mean?
that these take the pressure off the market.
That's correct. There's
Interesting.
instead of just going, it's almost like having 20 fire trucks for when you only need 5, and it just makes it's like, why even take out fire insurance? Because with the chance of everybody's going to be there. That's a pretty good analogy.
I hear the public's getting killed in them, that they're buying their options, right? So they trade breakouts, and so they're buying into rallies, and then the market sells off, right?
Well,
They're buying calls, and then on a breakdown, they're buying puts, and the writers are the one who they're cleaning up, the ones on the other side of the trades.
Well, you know what? That's before you even said what the writers were doing. I don't know much about them. I don't trade them, obviously, because I don't know much about them.
I can't even explain. I don't understand them.
But
How about that?
From what you just told me, it sounds like I would take the complete opposite, because if people are buying breakouts with these daily options,
yeah,
they're paying up for
right. That's what I'm saying.
They're paying up egregiously for premium.
Yeah, they get FOMO and they go.
That's why it's better to write them. You're going to lose a couple of times. Maybe something spikes and wipes you out for 400%.
Yeah. The house always wins, Mike.
No, that's something that's something interesting. Amazon.
Options are like relationships. 90% of them expire worthless.
Well, you know what? Yeah, they say that relationships or human they expire like friendships. That it takes its course like every 8 to 10 years, and like a friend disappears and recycles. I don't know.
I don't know, Mike, but I bought.
You're only on your 4th year, so you're okay.
I bought some leaps on you and TradeView and
I've been here
TradeGATEHub.
I'm smart.
They don't expire for another 15 years. I'm in calls there.
But let me just bring up my point here. They're playing Amazon, which is obviously April 23rd calls, MasterCard April, both have both earnings plays.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, earnings.
Pins
it's all for everyone's time horizon has changed. I don't care if you're a position swing scalper. It's all a day at a time now. Everyone's perspective is a day at a time.
It's a shame.
That's what's happened.
You want to know what, Riven?
Look at that.
Look at Riven. This is the problem, though, Coach, is that when certain people are potential investors, it's a vetting process. Myself, predominantly, people want to look at numbers, and it's not like going back to 10 years ago. Bank of America might have a 6.6% swing today. You know what I mean? So the majority might want to have like, I don't want to lose more than 8% a quarter. 8% a quarter. You know what I mean? You know what? 8%. Apple's up freaking 12% this week. You know what I mean? God forbid it was down. You know, it's very different. You know, so what I'm saying is for the active trader, it's very good. For positioning, it's like you said, top to top. It's a little bit more difficult. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. So here we are Thursday. I think we're still lower on the week in the indices. That was a pretty good down day. We haven't gotten all of that back. So still think we're looking at a reversal week in a lot of these shares. We'll see what happens with the Fed. I think the market's looking for them to hike and then say we're going to pause next week.
Well, you know what? This is what I used to look at before everything really got more, the rotation was more evident. This is what I would, if you gave me, if you took off this part of the screen right here, hold on. Where's this freaking thing? Right here. It showed this right part. I'd be like, wow, Caterpillar down 10, URI down 23, PXD, the best of breed oil stock, breaking support like that. D-Dog is giving it all back. Twilo still breaking year lows. You know, things like this.
There's a lot of damage. How's on
Target still under the 200-day, a dead cat bounce. A lot,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. I would look at the XBI. This is just the right side of my screen. I'd look at the XBI. I'd say, wow. I don't know, right?
Doesn't look great.
But
Yeah.
the spot, you know, the market's generally here and holding above moving averages. A lot of them don't. And listen, the bottom
Yeah.
line is, there's everybody's stepping on each other to be in a small handful of stocks. That's what happened. They're climbing on top
That's
of
not how. So what you have just said, if I just encapsulate what you said, here's what it equals: unhealthy market.
Oh, true. It is.
I rest my case.
No, the move. Look at Riven. The moves are okay. I mean, Caterpillar. You know, am I upset that Caterpillar has a $20 range? No, that's my acumen is to trade actively. Am I upset that I'm building the position long term or had one in Halliburton? It's down 3 days down. Yeah. So I'm smiling, but yet I'm smiling, but inside I'm hurting, or vice versa, depending on which way the market's going. So that's what I'm sitting. But there are ranges and there are stocks trading with volume. It's just
How
a lot
about
of people.
biotech in here, Mike? Is there any money flow in or
No.
out of bio?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
And that's because they still have a little hangover going with the banks, the Silicon Valley, and that, you know, they were a big lender to these bio startups. It's still more of a hangover, and you could see it in the price action with these bios because they were part of funding these startups or these biotech or startups, if you will.
You know, the miners may try and rally. I don't think they'll make new highs, and I think we'll be able to buy them at lower levels.
No, I'm not interested in run. I was just up in this thing. Stocks are breaking. I mean, listen, just until proven differently. Roblox with volume going down every day.
Yeah.
A
lot of
Square is
gravity out
up.
there.
Square is negative, as you can see. PayPal is up. Net was up very nice today, but then now it's negative. No, net was this morning. It was 61. Now it's still below 60. Where's our Zoom? Zoom still no bounce.
That looked okay. That looks lousy. Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. So very bifurcated market, but the strength is in FANG and MAGA, like the old days. When people said that's not where the new bull market's going to come from. So maybe this is like an echo rally with MAGA. We'll see. We
will see. But until then, listen, stocks are trading in groups. And for example, you look at these with the semis or these wafer related stocks, because Wolf had bad news and so did PI. So they are trading together. ON is down. They're all trading nicely down together. The oils are all down together. Here's the mega roll are up, with each other. Some industrial, so stock selection is still tantamount. It's still prevalent. Not trying to pick the market. The VIX is still suppressed until Coach, I would rather pay up. I'd rather buy the VIX up 10% than buy it here. I really would.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, have it prove itself.
No,
I would say back over 20 would look good. Just a quick, area on the VIX itself. I had a hard time getting through 20.
yeah. No,
April 4th, when I was on Real Vision, the title of the interview is it time to fade semiconductors? Boy, was that right on time. Because, they topped out before this recent break. I still think it's time to be short the semiconductors.
just got out of this thing.
I think they have a
No,
long
coach,
way to
listen, this
go.
is your chance. Listen, you're gonna get in front of this. Something's going on right now, by the way. You're gonna get in front of this. You gotta do it small. In pieces.
Okay.
Ribbon.
What's this? What's VLY?
VLY is a bank stock that I have a large
Okay.
position in. I
It's
think I
trying
just
to
sold.
put in a nice reversal.
That is, because I just sold some of it. See that? It just moved.
Okay,
Hold on.
nice.
I had like 20,000 of it. Hold on. Where is it? VLY. Where did I sell this? Executions. Yeah, I just sold 844. BMW. What else am I in? ELEV. This thing I had. ELEV. This was 350. I have 20,000 of it this morning. I thought it was about to break a new high. So I sat in it. I like the disseminated the news, but this is something I sat in. And I actually kind of like it still to a degree. But ELEV, if it takes out 345, I mean, I said I wasn't going to trade these, but I couldn't help it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
this
it
is
was
something
too compelling. Those are your best trades when you can't help it.
that's correct. No. And then you can't, that you
You're
want to
not
know why,
hunting
because then you
for it.
kind of undersize. And then when
Yeah.
you undersize, it usually works.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know what's happening internally in you, but the way you do this, Mike, is to me, it seems effortless.
It is. What something's going
Oh,
on
the
here.
S&Ps are exploding here, huh?
They are. What's going on here? So let's. What was it, Matt? The Kansas City Fed. No, it's not the Kansas City. What came in at 11:30? I don't know. Let's look. This is what I would do if something's moving right now. Outside of Bloomberg, Lucid, nothing really here. I don't see anything.
Okay.
Huge block
Well,
triggered.
this is what, a 1 minute chart, 5-minute chart?
1 minute chart. Sorry.
Okay.
But
Okay. That's why
IWM,
it
I was
looks
just told by
dramatic.
the IWM might have cleaned out some sellers with a lot of volume here. Some of the guys are telling me. There's
Okay.
the chart on the IWM.
It still looks lousy.
It does look lousy. So,
Why
listen,
do
I
you
get
want
it.
to, why just buy NASDAQ or S&Ps if you're bullish? Why try and constantly pick the relative weakness? Because you know what? I lived through it yesterday. I was worried about the index call, but I was short Apple, okay, and the semis, but the Apple was the wrong call because, they held up great yesterday. I knew that on any rebound, they were going to rally Apple and all of these FANG stocks. But again, sell the weakness, buy the strength, right? Yesterday was a day the techs just did not give it up as the S&Ps kept moving to lower levels.
Now,
The market will tell you if you will shut up and listen to it.
no, I understand that. That's why you have. That's why
If you turn
too
off
many
your
people.
chatterbox.
That's why too many people are preoccupied trying to pick the direction of the market and actually seeing what's actually in front of them.
Yeah, because that was a market message. And, you talk about how, it's how Tim made his career.
It's true.
And then when the board is red, buy what's green. So, I mean, that was a classic day for that type of philosophy yesterday. And anyway, you could know it and still not do it sometimes. How about that?
I understand that. And the easiest way to get around that is to get on the TradeView Markets demo and start
Good
trading.
segue. Yeah.
That was right.
Yeah, great segue.
So that's no, seriously,
you're
get in
getting
there.
this.
First of
You're getting this broadcasting stuff now. So, anyway, always love hanging out with you, Mike,
you too,
and
Coach.
exchanging ideas. So
Definitely.
my takeaway from you is that, there's a lot of stuff under pressure, even with the market up. So those aren't the ones you want to own. Am I reading you right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then don't just count your shares, count your blessings, and I'll be back in a few hours. little less than 3 hours with Ed Stockjabber. I think he rules the bear cave. Ever been in a bear cave?
Bear cave?
Yeah.
No, I'm not an outdoors guy. If
Uh,
there's not plumbing or 800 or 1,000 share thread sheets or sheets, I'm not
You
in it. Not
can't-
involved.
You camp like me. How about the jungle room? Ever hear of the jungle room?
The jungle room? No. Well,
Elvis had one, the king. Down
No.
in the jungle room.
Okay. No, I never had a jungle room.
All right, buddy. All right, nice hanging out with you.
You two guys.
Good hunting.
Cheers.
See you.
Always check out our stock page. You can always look at stocks that are moving up and down on volume and percentage moves. Just punch them up right here, right away. That's how you do your homework on TGH.
And I
Cheers,
tell you what,
everybody.
anyone listening to this today, if you open a $50,000 account with TradeView, Mike will give you a free Skype call to talk about how he became a great trader.
Or
How's
how
that
I'm
for an
continuing to work on being a great trader.
Yeah,
That's
how
easy.
about
That's
that?
the least I could do.
You want to meet Mike and maybe learn what he knows?
Free, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Just get in touch with me.
But yeah, but I'm talking about it, risk capital only, 50K in this environment. And I'll talk to you later. I'll see you for the interview.
You got it, coach. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Cheers. Have a plan. A lot of earnings still tonight. So remember, it's not what's really happening now. There's going to be some pin action going forward as well as these tailwinds you could see in these mega cap stocks. So until then, be prudent, have a plan, and we'll be there. We'll see you later, coach. Thanks for your time.
All right. See you in the room, Mike.